good evening. Welcome back to another segment of The Real Room. I'm so glad that you are here tonight. Super excited about the guest that we have on tonight. Our first guest that I'm going to introduce is Sharmaine Hills. She is an amazing woman of honor. She's respected, she's loved, she's a devoted sister, friend, mother. She is a servant, she's educated. And what we love the most about Sharmaine is that she knows how to show up. So we are going to welcome Sharmaine Hills on tonight. She is one of our special guests. And I also want to welcome this amazing man of God. He has been a father, a friend. He is an amazing husband to Mama Lady Joyce Bellinger. He travels the world preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. He is a specialist in psychology and physiology. Did I say that right? Okay, let's just say I said that right. He also handles pastor care, Christian counseling, conflict management. He is also he's a referee. Let me get that right, y'all. He is the referee of the high school basketball team, and the list goes on. Bishop is going to be with us tonight. So everyone, welcome to the Real Room, Sharmaine and Bishop Eugene Bellinger. Good evening, good evening, and welcome to the Real Room segment.
Thank you.
So tonight, y'all, we are going to be talking about ready to love. And Sharmaine is going to be unpacking some things in her testimony, some things that she has endured, overcome, and is here to testify about it. And we are super excited about all that the Lord has done in her life, even in a place of restoration. So, Sharmaine, and so also, guys, listen. So Bishop he's going to help us, men and women everywhere, to deal with some things that we have hidden in our hearts that have closed us out from loving again. So at any time in Sharmaine and I conversation, Bishop, you feel free to interject and talk to us girls while we sit here and have an open conversation with the world. All right, so everybody, come on, put those hands together, and let's welcome our special guest tonight. And welcome all of my sisters and my friends who tune in every Thursday night to be with us for real conversation, real talk. So, Sharmaine.
Yes.
Tell us how you felt when you first fell in love with your husband now that you're divorced from. Tell me, let's talk about that, because we want to walk through a little bit of your journey.
It was amazing. I was starstruck.
Were you starstruck or sex struck? This is a real conversation.
I was starstruck.
Starstruck. Okay.
Yes.
So we know the difference. I just want us to be clear that we know the difference.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
great. Okay, great.
I was starstruck. When I first met him, it was, I don't even know how to describe it. He was attentive. The attention was nice. I was actually with someone when I met my ex-husband. And when it started out, we were always together. We were always spending time together, going to the movies, going to the park, all those wonderful things. And he was in school and he was working. I was working.
When you say school, you mean college or high school?
He was in college.
He was in college. Okay, yeah, so he was a little educated. He was a little educated. Okay, we like education.
He was. You know how they say opposites attract? We were total opposites.
Okay.
He was very withdrawn and raised up, sheltered, and I was totally different. So when we met, I never in a million years would have thought that we would hit it off, but we did. We clicked, and we were together. And then time started getting away from us. I understood that he was, in school and at work. But when you're used to somebody giving you all the time, being with them and
Okay.
going places and stuff like that, and then that
Okay.
lessons, and
Okay.
that's where my ex came in.
Okay. When you say ex, what do you mean?
My ex-husband.
Okay, so now, okay, so he went from being your husband, your lover, your friend, your what we call everything, to now he is in the X zone.
No, the person that I was with when I met my ex-husband. That's what I was saying.
Oh,
He
okay, so actually, okay, so Bishop, I feel like that she was sort of kind of a player, female player. Like you,
No, I was
I'm confused. I just want to be real. I just
I
want to
was
be
only
real.
21. I
Okay,
was
so
only
you
21.
were 21 and had a little bit of game.
I guess I didn't know
Okay.
I had games.
I mean, what they say, Bishop, game recognizes game.
No, I was just no, I was just used to attention.
That okay, now that's what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
That's where I wanted to get. Um, do you feel like that the love part of it was the attention? Was it a strong like? Like what drew you to him and what broke you from him?
The attention is what drew me.
Okay, the attention. So can I ask you this? Because
Yeah,
we're dealing, this is love month. So
sure,
we're gonna be so real right now, right?
sure. Yeah,
Because there are so many men and women that don't know who they are. So they look for attention from others to fill a
exactly.
void that they cannot fill for themselves, right? So
Absolutely.
did he fill that place in you, or did you already know who you were and he
I
added value to you?
no, I
Good.
had
Let's
no
talk about
idea
it.
who I was. I had no idea who I was. You
And at
know,
that age, we don't know. We're still
exactly.
trying to discover ourselves.
I had no idea who I was.
Mm-hmm.
And the gentleman before him was my first boyfriend.
Mm.
So he was my second. He was 5 years older than me, my
Okay.
ex-husband.
Your
And so
ex-husband.
it's like he knew things and he would say things and he would come around and you're going to be my wife and you're
Mm.
going to be mine. And, you know, and I'm like, no, I'm already with someone. And then I would call him and he'd be like, I can't talk right now. I'm busy.
Okay, so wait a minute. Let's go back to this. You were with your ex-boyfriend, but you were seeing your husband.
I was not seeing him.
Well, it sounds
Okay,
like to me that's I mean,
at all. I was
okay,
not. I used to go to his sister's house because I knew her. I didn't know him. He would
okay,
come over to visit his sister,
okay,
and
okay,
that's where he met me.
okay, okay. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring all the pieces together because I want us to talk to the woman and the man that
Yeah.
has sacrificed themselves
My God.
in love, for love, and have lost themselves trying to find themselves
That's me.
in someone else
That was me.
that cannot fill a void or close the gap in a
Right.
place in our lives that
Right.
we are not fulfilled ourselves.
Right. And that goes back to not knowing who we are.
Who we are.
Did not know. In a way, my ex-husband formed me,
Okay.
shaped me.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to that. Bishop, interject anytime.
Hmm.
You're saying he formed you and he made you. I want to say that because you didn't know who you were
Yes.
at the
Yes.
time, you gave him access in a broken place of your life
Absolutely.
that needed fulfillment that you didn't even know needed fulfillment.
Exactly. Because I really thought everything was wonderful. I thought this is how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel as though anything was broken.
Mm.
You know,
Was your dad in your life?
no, in and
So,
out, one in
mm.
and out. Yeah.
So did you look for that male figure, that guidance, that love in your husband that you didn't get from your dad?
Probably.
Mm.
It was something about um, him, uh, I guess, being the leader, being the protector, being all of those things that I guess, like you said, I did not get stability. Stability was something because it was always just me and my mom.
Okay.
I would go and visit my father, but there was no stability there. There was no structure.
So
I
do you feel like that was repeated behavior? Because so we're going to get to the heartbreak part of the marriage, to the
Okay,
relationship, to the
okay,
fall of the relationship.
yeah,
But that was, to me, I feel like, and I want you to correct me if I'm wrong,
uh-huh,
your ex-husband
mm-hmm.
was in a place of trying to fill again the void of something that you've always missed. And when he didn't meet up to standards, you hit that place of brokenness all over again. So it felt like repeated offense, maybe.
Somewhat, yes.
Mhm.
And the thing of it is, he had no idea. You know what I'm saying? I was, it got to a place where I'm like, why aren't you, doing this? Or why aren't you saying this? Or why aren't you loving me? It wasn't enough. It got to a point where it wasn't enough because it wasn't, I wasn't happy. I wasn't fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
But that was later on, before the breakup. God had to let me know. That's when I knew the Lord then, when we were married and everything. And God let me know that I'm expecting whole from someone who is also broken.
Oh, that's good. That is really good.
So in that case, brokenness begat brokenness, but I'm expecting you to make me whole and give me wholeness when you didn't have it yourself.
Right. But how did you know what wholeness looked like if you was in a broken state yourself?
I saw whole, oh my God. I was introduced to wholeness because I didn't see it with my mother. She was never married, you know. I was introduced to wholeness through your father and your mother.
Mm-hmm.
I had never seen a relationship, a friendship, a partnership like that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Never. Most of my family, no, I don't know about it. I've never seen it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
Just
can
the
I?
trust, the respect. I
Okay.
mean, just him opening the door, him being mindful, and
Right.
it was amazing.
Right.
And as I began to see that, and I was like, wait a minute, this is uneven over here. That's not what's happening.
Right.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It blew my mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bishop, do you want to say something to us?
Well, again, let me first thank you for the invitation, Pastor Marie, and to Sister Sharmaine. I am honored to be here. Uh, as I listen to her, she's no different from any of us. All of us are born to want attention. Secondly, we want attraction. We want to be attracted so we can get attraction.
Hmm.
We seek for affection. Uh, we look for somebody who's available so we can make ourselves available. And then we want an alignment,
Oh,
only
that's
to
good.
find out that we're seeking something in our loneliness and find ourselves alone.
My God.
And
Mm.
sometimes we can blame the situation or the circumstance of the engagement of the person that we're connected to for all of our problems, but really
Mhm.
they have not exit from theirs.
Woo.
My
We have
God.
not truly exit from ours.
Hmm.
And we
Mm.
enter into this agreement, this what I call this dysfunctional agreement called hurt each other
Ooh.
without
Wow.
intentionality.
Yes.
And so what you find out, and so then you decide, then you look at this and say, wait a minute, there is no stability here.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But then we find
Right.
ourselves too embarrassed, too ashamed. Uh, you remember the person who says to us, you shouldn't have gone there, you shouldn't have done it. Uh, Your mama said no, your daddy said no, your brother said
Yeah.
no, and you're too embarrassed to go back. And now we find ourselves, I'm saying our because I'm talking to men too, we find ourselves beating ourselves up. Because remember, before we got there, we were the somebody. We came into a relationship trying to be the everybody. Now we realize we are nobody. And we hear all these voices, those voices from the past haunting us. Then you ask ourselves, what do I do in this situation? What do I do in these circumstances? And if I try to go away, am I going to suffer hurt, harm,
Right.
embarrassment, or even danger and death? But watch this. We're not just talking about from the person you're with. But if you go back to the people you left, hurt, harm, embarrassment, and another death. It's what I call a triune death because you left them without regards to their direction. So you sort of kind of kill it off. You wounded them. You get into this relationship, it ain't working, and you don't kill that off, and you coming back like a wounded bird to a relationship where the cage door is now locked. And here's a big problem. The cage door locked because somebody else has filled your place. And so now you say, what do I do now?
Wow. So Bishop, talk to us. Talk to the Sharmaines out here and the men of God out here that are ready to love again after heartbreak. Because I know, like with me going through separation and all of the things I've been through, I thought that my marriage was solidified, and then to know that it wasn't, that there was a gap, there was a hole somewhere that the enemy was able to infiltrate and penetrate in places that we didn't even recognize.
Right.
So now, speaking to the men and women, there has to be a time in our place of healing that we can be able to love again, because we don't want Sharmaine to repeat the behavior of where she came from, because she deserves better, right? Right. She deserves better. She is a gem, she's a jewel, she's a diamond, and that's how God sees us. So we don't want to repeat behaviors of our past, bringing that old stuff into our future, because we want to be open to love again, and to heal, and to have that place of honor and respect for the person that God sends us to love. So how do we get to that place? Can you talk to us from that perspective?
Well, here's the thing.
Okay, give it to us.
You will never be able to love again until you learn how to love who you are and whose you are and what you are.
Okay. So let me repeat what Bishop just said. You will never be able to love again unless you love who you are, what you are, and what did you and who you are.
Yeah.
Okay. See, we go into relationships to be identified and to have an identification with someone to help make us when we already made before we get there.
Yeah.
And the society has created this thing where women don't feel like they're anyone unless they have someone, or men are nobody unless they got all the women.
But I'm right now, honey, these women, I don't know about the men, I can't speak for them, but these women nowadays, they ain't putting up with foolishness.
Yeah. Right.
So you can talk to us strong Black women that feel like, hey, I'll be by myself first. I'm not just saying the Black women, because a lot of women, I've heard it so much. I'll be by myself first before I put up with any level of disrespect or foolishness.
Yeah.
So is that putting us in a place of being hard guarded, Bishop? Like, tell me and Sharmaine where we are with that.
No, I don't think it put you in a place of being hard and guarded and haughty. I think because you all are birthers.
Ooh, say it again.
Come on.
Somebody put that on the screen.
You all are nourishers. You all, it's like the pelican who can't find food for its sibling. They will peck their chest so blood can come out so they can feed. Women are strong. They know how to feed themselves when there's nothing on the table that the Negro left you in the house by yourself.
Woo.
Come on, somebody, Bishop.
Look,
You
go ahead and tell my testimony. Go ahead.
I really do think by nature that women are stronger than men, but men have a strength to cover you're supposed to have a strength to cover your strength. And so what happened is, as Pastor Percy, in this season, women don't give a kid a booty now no more. They will go right back where they came from.
I know that's right.
And start all over. You're going to do it for 2 or 3 reasons. You're going to do it to prove it to yourself, I deserve better than this. You're going to do it secondly because God wants you to do better.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to do it for the third reason. Come on, let's admit it. You want that Negro to know, I don't need you no more.
Hey, what? What though? Hey,
yeah.
Come on.
And so I think the thing is, when you come out of relationships, you got to have a plan of recovery.
Okay, Bishop, that's so good. Like when I say we are all like hollering right now, women of God, men of God, we are all hollering right now. Bishop, say that loud for the people in the back.
See, you should never leave anything. Well, let me say, when you leave anything or anyone, and you have lost who you really are, you got to have a plan of recovery. Now, a plan of recovery is no good if there are no principles, if there are no procedures and no protocol and no program, okay? Because you can't, pomp and circumstance is when I have concluded my processioner out of my hurt. But you got to know how to process this. And here's the danger. You process it, you're going to start remembering, but you cannot let the defeated emotions that's trying to hold on to the accelerated emotions keep pulling you back. You go for the rest of your life, you're going to always have some pain.
Yes.
But the pain does not have to be your pleasure.
Come on, wait a minute, Bishop. Okay, because let's talk about that. Sharmaine, Bishop, please don't lose where we are because this is so good.
It is.
Sharmaine, so Bishop said your pain should not be your pleasure. Some women fuel from pain. They say they don't want it, but it gives them fuel. So Sharmaine being a fighter, right? You are a fighter.
Yes.
So
go ahead.
No. I'm saying you are a fighter. That's just who you are, right? So moving forward into your next, because this is talking about ready for love again. We're ready for love again.
Absolutely.
Will you allow, and Bishop, come through with this, will you allow that pain of the unknowing to become your pleasure, to make you miss out from knowing the good thing that God wants to do for you next?
No, I pray to God I don't. That's one thing I ask God, because what he just said was so true.
But we live in pain. People can live in pain.
On. Yes, I felt like it was my right. He hurt me. It was my right to hold on to the pain, but it was killing me. Pastor Marie saw me one day after church, and she told me, she said, I see it all over you. And I'm like, what you talking about? And she's like, your skin color, it's dull. She said, you can't do this. You can't live here. She said, I know you're bitter. I know you're hurt. And I went home and I thought about that. I was hot when she said it, but she was right. I felt like it was my right. The pain, the hurt, the anger, all of that was mine. But it wasn't doing anything for me. Today, I can say, I thank God that I can look back and it's not that way. And I ask God all the time, Lord, please don't let me bleed on this man. Don't let me bleed on the new. Don't let me bring the baggage, that was once. I don't want that. I don't want that.
That's that pain. That's that pain like, you know, some people pick the wound over and over again and never
Yes, make
recover
it
and
bleed.
allow it to scab up so
Right.
it can heal so we can move on.
Yeah.
And Bishop, you know, this is another point I want to make. I know this is deep, but this is the real room. So Bishop, this, you know, I love you. This is a respectful time, but I want you to talk from a clinical also perspective to the women that fuel themselves sexually to cover up or numb the pain of what has happened to them to prove a point. Not just women, but also men.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to that spirit?
Okay. So here's the thing about pain. Pain is
Okay.
Pain, Pain, Pain.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you punish yourself. Pain will cause you to punish yourself. Second is pain will create anger. The other thing, pain create insecurity. Then
Mm-hmm.
pain makes you needy, So you have to be careful that pain does not become an established culture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I deal with what we call subdominant cultures or dissociated disorders.
Mm-hmm.
All of us have some personality, a bit of disorders. And when you go through these kind of divorces and separation, you create a community of disorders.
Wow.
Wow.
Anger,
Wow.
bitterness,
Yeah.
hate, denying who you are. They're all disorders that present themselves at different times. You can walk in a store and see green, and it ignites something in you
Right.
because
Right.
that green was where something happened in that house. You have the disorder of carelessness. You just don't care how you look, how you comb your hair. Disorders, they are disassociated actions or disorders because now your receptors, your senses, your
Mm-hmm.
eye, those are the senses that gives you a perception or a perspective of your problems and pain that can be misinterpreted. The sixth sense, hear me good on this, the sixth sense is where the devil lodges and he sends in a perception called interceptors just before your perception goes to the seventh perception, which is God. God downloads, the devil uploads, but inside your brain is your
Mm-hmm.
mind.
Bishop, you being heavy on us tonight, sir. You
But
being
this is,
heavy on us.
I like it though.
We love
we
it.
have to, yeah, but you have to understand how the body functions. And so in my clinical, I can't lay hands on you and cast out a devil because some things have nothing to do with the devil. All the devil does is
Okay.
deposit a thought. That thought now belongs to you. He's going by
Wow.
his business now.
Mhm.
Okay. Now that,
So now
yes.
you're living out a thought, a perception. And that's what I'm saying to people and women and men who coming out of divorce and out of relationship. Be careful not to go into another situation. Learn from the first one. You have to be healed. Watch
Somebody
this.
put that on the screen. You have to be healed. All right,
Right,
Bishop.
right.
We have
You
to be
have to
healed.
be healed. And our mistake is I'm healed, but there's no continuation of the healing of what you've been healed from.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I scraped my arm and had a scab does not mean that the skin has completely been healed.
That
Right.
part.
And
That
so we
right.
walk away from relationships. We walk away from association. We walk away from church. Hurt. And so I got a new life, but you're still in pain because watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Dissociated disorders, there's a part of us that love pain. Pain is symbolic of a sensual sexual relationship.
God.
It gives you some demonic orgasm.
Lord have
Oh
mercy.
And I'm
my.
leaving it alone.
I don't want that.
But Bishop,
You got to
yes.
understand
Oh
that is an intimate relationship with that pain because that's
Okay.
all you knew. Because that's the only thing. Watch this. This is important. As a clinical person, that pain is what talked to you 24/7 and
My
gave
God.
you positive, negative thing to make you feel good about you not feeling good.
That's
Wow.
why you never find pleasure in going from partner to partner to partner.
Right.
So how do we, Bishop, in our, unfortunately, y'all, our time is gone. Isn't that crazy?
No, keep going.
It is. It is. Like, I'm a stickler to our time, but
Okay.
our time is gone almost. But we got to have Bishop to close us out in a powerful conclusion of the matter,
Yeah.
because this is a season of love. And there are some women, there's some men that are very lonely and they're desperate. They're looking for love in all the wrong places. And we don't want to have repeated behaviors. And that's what you were just speaking to, that place of pain. And we all are open to whatever God has for us.
Whatever he says.
We're open to what
Yes.
God has for us. And we don't want to miss it. Right?
Nope. Not at all. Not this time. No.
Now, Bishop, did you bring out your clinical books? Because I just seen you turn around.
Well, I have to close with this, because again, it's part of my doctoral process, is that we have to learn how to handle conflict, criticism, crisis, and crazy people in our lives.
Okay.
That's where problems begin. Conflict, criticism, crisis, or what I may call difficult or crazy people in our life. Because they're never going to disband us. They're never going to leave us. You learn from this lesson what you should do. Let me close out with this. The man that was on the island in the tomb, who was cutting himself all night and hollering and could not be chained down because he wanted to be free. He had sense enough. And this is what I say to all of us, to Sharmaine, to all of us. He had sense enough, because the duality of his personality, it was good and evil. But he had sense enough to understand Jesus came there. And that part of that personality and that character of him was worshiping Jesus. Then the other part overrode it, who said, wait a minute, who are you? And then, but that part that other part had enough sense to say, if you cast us out of him, put us in the swine. There's something inside of you is telling God, you don't want this. They don't want to be bothered with you anymore, because your presence, his presence in your environment, in your territorial environment, now help you realize that conflict, so when you look at the study of that man was on the island because he was cast out of his home, his community, because they did not understand his situation and his circumstance.
Yes.
That's why he said to Jesus, can I go with you? Jesus said, no. Go back to the ones who sent you and let them know that you are more than normal. And so what you have to do, Sharmaine, all who listen to me, you got to go back at some point in time, let people know, hey, I'm back here now because I met the master.
My God.
Okay.
Yes.
But I cannot deny as a clinical specialist, yes, we need the Bible, we need prayer, but you've got to find some professional help to get you through this. And you have to find the right people who are spirit-filled, but academically and professionally prepared to walk you through this whole process. Jesus came there and got the man right. But I'm saying, in all of us, I don't care how bad it is, God is still there.
My God. Yes. So there is hope for all of us that are looking for love. There is hope. I'm encouraged tonight.
I like that.
I am encouraged tonight.
Yeah. We have to, we got to keep going, Bishop. We have to keep going.
We do.
That's all you got for us. I'm just saying, that's all you got for us. I mean, you just dropped the mic. There was a whole drop the mic.
Well, but here's what I will say, that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and rulers of the darkness. We can't be so quick to blame the person as much as we blame the government of the powers and the principalities that they are subjected to.
Yes.
However, I'm not saying you go back to them, but we must understand that this is a warfare that we're in. We're born in sin and shaped into iniquity. We are shaped into iniquity. Often when everybody read the Old Testament, they blame Eve for the fall, but God gave the rule, direction to Adam. Adam could have protected her at that moment. Had he not eaten the fruit, she would have been all right. but he found himself subjected trying to please her
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't want to lose her. But she was not the one that God said, don't eat the fruit. He told Adam. So you got to find those people in your life who are going to cover you, that no matter how bad it get, how weak you get, they don't find themselves subjected to the pleasures of your hurt and pain.
Yes.
And this may not make any sense, but let me try to. They were in the garden with everything that they needed. God put them in the garden. In the New Testament, it said that Jesus became tired and he wanted to get away. He went to the wilderness. What's in the wilderness? Brush and dirt. He went to the opposite place of what the opposite place of what the garden looked like. So what am I saying? You may have left the garden of your beginning in the transition, but he went back to the wilderness to restore the wilderness from which it came from the garden. And I'm saying to those of you who've been hurt, been beat down, to Sharmaine, to all of us, I may be in a wilderness moment, but I'm with God. And when I come out, I will leave that wilderness like the beginning that it was in his origin. That's it. I'm telling you. What? Even if you got to change that Negro right, get him saved.
He said Negro
word, and let the wilderness in his life wake up. You get on, you go back to where you come, go back where you came from, and live good, live good, live great, and live God and live with grace.
My God.
Wow.
And everybody, listen, I'm a hopeless romantic. Sometimes things like that happen. We get in relationships, we get hurt, we get divorced, and then we're like, I'm done with love. No, I ain't ever done with love. I still believe in it. I still have hope. I still believe that God is going to have me happily married. I'm going to work at it. I'm going to submit to that wonderful man. And we're going to serve God together. And I want everybody to know, just keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Trust God. It's going to happen for us.
Yes. If I knew what key you were talking about.
Bishop, listen, tonight has been none short of an amazing night for us all. It's been a moment. Bishop, thank you so much. Sharmaine, thank you so much. Bishop, I think that you just opened us up to a whole nother world of healing, breakthrough, and deliverance. And I believe that we are ready to walk into places that our minds cannot even conceive. I believe that God is about to do some miraculous things for his men and women. I'm so grateful that everyone logged on tonight. We just thank God for Bishop. We thank God for Sharmaine. Sharmaine, keep going. Stay open. Stay ready to love. Bishop has given us some amazing tools. That came from a place of wisdom.
Yeah, and I thank him. My goodness.
That came from a place of wisdom. So, we are ready to go. Oh my God, it's time already. It's time already. But I love you all. You can see us again next week. We have another special guest coming in. And guess what? We're going to do this again because this is Love Month and we going up. Blessings and love. Have a blessed and prosperous weekend and get to church. Bishop, tell them, get to church.
Get to church.
Get to church.
Get to church.
That's our whole post show. We didn't say go to church. Get to church.
Get to church. Get to church. All right, you all. Blessings. Love. Have a blessed night.
Bye.